If you're looking for last minute gift ideas, I have you covered. 5 items under $10, 5 items under $20, and the rest are all under $50. Let's go ahead and get started. We have 20 things on the table, and every single one I have vetted, and I can guarantee is going to be worth it. I want to be honest with you, I could probably have made a top 100 list of items under $10, and I've had a really fun time looking for those hidden gems in the ultra budget range. And one of those things is the Outdoor Edge Slidewinder, currently sitting under $10 on Amazon. This has a lot going for it. You have a flathead driver as well as a potential pry tool. You have a 2-dimensional Phillips over here, a bottle opener, a one-handable utility knife blade, and the other thing that I really like and why this makes the list over any other utility knife is it has a built-in pocket clip that can be used to dangle your keys. So you attach a little ring right here, attach it to your keys, and you actually have the ability to set it up in your pocket so that you don't have to dig around in the bottom of your pocket for your keys. You'll have it right there. So for that reason, I think this is absolutely the tippy top of the sub $10 category when it comes to utility knife blades, and is certainly worth a consideration. I get asked often, why should I carry a pry tool? Well, there's a lot of things you don't want to use your knife blade for. Scraping, cutting open packages, potentially getting tape and gunk all over it. This is the kind of tool that can come in handy, and if it's invisible, meaning that it's very, very light, it can be very useful. It also benefits if the tool is under $5. So this has, as you can see, a secondary edge for opening packages. It has a flathead that is good for prying as well, a bottle opener, a small ruler with metric and imperial. It has a couple of hex drivers as well. But the thing I like so much is that it has this little spring gate. And what this will actually allow you to do is if you have a larger key ring, you can actually attach this to a belt loop on the outside, and this can actually work like a dangler. So for that purpose, I think it's almost unbeatable at this price point. Less than $5. This is a home run, and trust me, it will save your blade. So you're not trying to use the tip of a blade, potentially snapping it off. This is what you should be destroying. And actually, I've been pretty impressed to find that this has not been damaged on things that I have used it on in the past. This is actually the 3rd one I've had, and I only ever lose them, I never break them. So definitely check out the Nite Ize DoohicKey. This one is a good one. All right, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. There's a reason why the BigFoot locker is the best key organizer made by Nite Ize. If you've ever looked at their setup, all of the S-beaners that they have available, the locking S-beaners, they usually sell in groups of 2. And a pair of them is almost the same price as this entire set, and this has a total of 5. So it's a little bit of a trick. And then the BigFoot locker, although it looks like a foot, which is a little bit silly, the fact that it actually spaces out all of the different S-beaners is really, really nice. And each one of these can potentially carry 3 keys. So that's up to 15 keys on this one thing. And it also has a locking gate. So if you put it on a belt loop or anything else, you can actually lock it in place so you don't have to worry about it. So for that reason, under $10, I don't think you can beat the BigFoot locker. And even if you don't use the larger component, you're still getting the benefit of having additional locking S-beaners for a discounted rate. So definitely check that out. It's a great stocking stuffer, or just a great, gift or add-on to basically anything else that you're doing. Now I just did a top 10 list of EDC pens. And in fact, I did a top 10 list of a lot of different categories that we're going to be talking about in this video. And you're welcome to see that playlist. I will put it down below. But these two go all the way to the very tippy top of the list for a couple reasons. Number one is you can find both of these pens regularly in big box stores, so you don't have to buy them online. This is the F301 Compact, and I've actually bought this exact one from Staples. So you can definitely find them, and I think for that reason, they're worth considering. And they come in under $5 for this and under $10 for this model. This is the F701, and I love this pen because it's an all-metal construction. It has incredibly good grip, and to top it all off, the insert that it uses, you can replace it with a Fisher Space Pen insert. So you can get that functionality of being able to write at different angles, being able to write underwater, I mean, if that's really your thing. But the fact that it can do both, and it, you know, is inexpensive, a lot of times coming with its pair, which is a pencil for a very discounted rate, this is a very good pen. And both of these have an excellent pocket clip that is deep carry and actually will go into even thick pockets. So if you have reinforced work pants or anything like that, these actually have enough space to accommodate it. And so I think that this makes it a little bit better than basically any other option. So you can buy them on Amazon, or you can buy them at your local office store last minute. So definitely consider both of these. They're going to be excellent. And if you lose them, they're also not going to hurt your feelings too much. Although I frankly never have lost these inexpensive pens for whatever reason. Maybe it's a curse or something. I don't know. Now we're moving on to items under 20. And once again, there's a lot of them, but one of the things I think you should definitely consider is this Hoto screwdriver. So I have about, I'd say 3 or 4 of these, and they're spread out among kits, in drawers, in backpacks. They're just all over the place because they're inexpensive and they give you a lot of functionality. So this uses a 4mm adapter, or 4mm bit driver, and comes with 12 double-sided bits. And these actually work very well for the price. I'm actually very impressed with this, and I think it's going to get a lot of work done. It's certainly not going to give you the kind of torque that an impact driver will, but it's just kind of there to help you with a lot of small tasks here and there. And it works really well in conjunction with a much more durable dedicated screwdriver. It's also going to work with a few of the items that I will talk about later in this video. But under $20, definitely worth considering, and a great stocking stuffer or just something to give as a present for sure. Next up, we're going to talk about our first flashlight on the list. Now this particular design I don't believe is under $20 right now, although I do think there is a sale going on, so maybe it's a little bit cheaper. This is the i3T2, the second iteration, that is from Olight. And I am so impressed with this light. It was still one of my top rated flashlights, and then they went ahead and they upgraded basically everything about it. It has a maximum output of 200 lumens, a low mode of 5. It is easy for anyone to use and is now capable of working with the lithium 10440 battery. So you can get a maximum output of 300 lumens if you want to go that route. So for that reason, I just think it's one of the better flashlights out there, and you should definitely consider it at that under $20 price point with the standard black. It's a great gift for literally anyone of any age, and it's easy to understand. They also have a lifetime warranty against manufacturer defects and everything else. And you can get this either on Amazon or directly from Olight. And the shipping is incredibly quick, regardless of which one you go with. So for that reason, I think it kind of climbs all the way to the top, and availability on this is also widespread as well. So definitely check out this if you're looking for a pocketable flashlight. It has the ability to be attached to a hat because it has a reversible clip, and just a really, really good flashlight in general. Worth considering for sure. I think my favorite items are ones I don't expect much of, but then when I get it in hand and I use it for a while, it turns out to be absolutely incredible. And this is a great example of it. This is the Worksharp Micro Sharpener. And what's cool about this is it has a diamond side as well as a ceramic. So you can pretty much get sharpening done on essentially any object. And it has a built-in 20-degree angle guide. So if you're not that great at sharpening, it really does take the guesswork out of the whole thing. In addition, you'll notice these 3 bits that are in the middle. Now you can fold those out and you get access to a T6, T8, and T10, as well as a bit driver. So you can replace one of these, which I usually do, with a Phillips driver as well, and that gives you a small screwdriver to carry with you in addition to a sharpener. And at under, I think these are around $15, it's kind of hard to say no. You still get all the benefits of having a Worksharp sharpener because the diamond grits are very consistent. And of course you have the ceramic hone as well. Definitely a great addition, whether it's for a keychain or a small kit or something you could just throw in your pocket. This is a fantastic little tool. Now, if we're talking watches under $20, it's going to be a Casio Full stop. There is no better watch under $20 in the entire world. That's just the facts. But even when you're looking under 20, there are hundreds of models from Casio. Why does this come in at number one unequivocally? Well, first of all, it has a really good backlight, something that's not always present in the inexpensive Casio watches. This also is one of the very few models in that price range that also has a 5-alarm setup. This watch has been reviewed ad nauseum from pretty much everyone. And it doesn't matter whether you're a collector of watches that are well into the 5-figure range, no one turns their nose up at the Casio Royale. It is just unequivocally one of the best watches dollar for dollar in the entire world. And yeah, it's a great thing to give. And please do not get ones with the metal band. I know it might be tempting, even though they're a little bit more expensive. They look terrible as they wear. This watch, as you start to wear away at this plastic covering, starts to get a nice little patina look. And I think for that reason, the all black Casio Royale is definitely the watch under 20 to get, and is going to be a great gift for basically anyone. And yeah, even if you have a lot of watches, this is a winner, because there's just some environments you don't want to beat up your really nice watch, and this will never get stolen, most likely, and it will also be something that will take an absolute beating. So highly recommend the Casio Royale. It's basically the best watch under $20. I have a lot of gear, and I still end up using things that are highly budget centric, and this is one of those examples. It might seem worse to get something made in plastic, but the reality is that this means it's going to be silent. And so that's what I really like about this shackle from Keysmart. It's about $12 and it's silent on my key ring. So when things move around, it doesn't make a lot of noise. For that reason, I highly recommend it. Now this will fit 4 keys pretty comfortably, and I think you can even buy a small extender to allow it to take even more keys. So keeping that in mind, I think it's a very good consideration. They make a variety of other key organization gear, but this one is definitely something that I personally use, and I think you'll like it as well. Now we're going to move up to items just over that $20 price point. And the first one is also my highest recommendation for any Victorinox and for literally anyone at any age, and that is the Jetsetter. I just got back from Italy and I took this with me both through TSA and back through it on the other side in Rome. They always inspect it. They never have an issue with it, or at least I haven't had one yet. And this comes with a small scissor, as well as a Phillips driver with a bottle opener and wire stripper. Now this little tool is so good. I've actually used this Phillips driver more than the Phillips driver on larger multi-tools because it kind of works better for smaller screws. So anything from a 0 to a 2, it will basically be able to unscrew. And I'm very happy with how useful it is. Now here's a cool hidden trick that you want to know. This will also work with the Leatherman rebar bit extender, or I should say bit converter. So what you need to do is you put this in sideways right here, and it actually will lock in, and you now have access to all of the Leatherman bits as well. So if you wanted a very small kit that you could travel with, this will do exactly that. So how cool is that? Easily my most recommendable Swiss Army knife, and you can give this to literally anyone at basically any age. Highly recommended. It also has a tweezer and a toothpick, and if you wanted, you can actually replace this with a ferro rod, which can be struck with that little notch right there. Yeah, the Jetsetter. It's the home run. It's the one no one talks about. Everyone should have one, and I actually keep this on my keys 24/7. So definitely check this out. It's going to be worth it. Now, when you're going from a small, basically invisible keychain tool up to a full-size Swiss Army knife, that's when things get more difficult. You really have to know the person you're buying for. Are they someone who needs something every day? They go to the office, they do tasks around the house, and so on. Well, then I would suggest something like the Super Tinker. And the biggest consideration here is that the 3-dimensional Phillips on the back. That's not in every single model. And this is one of the thinnest ones that includes a three-dimensional Phillips while also having the scissor. So this is really important. This is one of the best scissors you can find and is an incredibly useful tool day to day. This also has two blades, including a small and a large, all in slip joint, as well as a flathead and a can opener with a smaller flathead on the other side. There's additional tools like a parcel hook and a reamer awl, along with the tweezers and a toothpick. And no, you're not going to get it with titanium handles. These are something I added after the fact. It'll come with these Celador ones. But it's worth noting at this point that the nice thing about a Swiss Army knife as a gift is you can always sweeten that later down the line. If you notice that someone has one they already love, you can get them something like custom scales, right? That will personalize it further. So that is something you can do with Swiss Army knives that makes it a very, very good gift, besides the fact they have a lifetime warranty, they're made in Switzerland, their quality control is fantastic. I mean, I could go on and on, but you get the idea. The other model that's worth talking about is going to be really pertinent to someone who is outdoors a lot. Fishing, hunting, camping, you name it. This is a very good tool for that because in addition to the scissor on the front side, you also have a saw. And this is a very, very good saw. Now the corkscrew seems a little strange, but is actually really good for pulling out knots in rope, among other things, and also provides storage for a variety of different outdoor-centric add-ons that you can find as well. So the the Huntsman is definitely the tool to go with if you're going for someone who is more outdoors centric. As long as you go with one of these two, I think you're going to be in great shape. If you happen to want something in addition to the Jetsetter, you can always go with the more expensive compact. So the compact is a very good tool. It's been reviewed ad nauseum by a lot of different people. The thing about this is that this by itself is a $60 tool. Now it has a pen and pin and small flathead in addition to everything else. It's even got a file on the parcel hook, but it kind of sits outside of the price point for this video. So worth considering potentially if you want both, but it doesn't have a Phillips where this does, as do the Super Tinker as well. So that's my recommendation. Any of these three are going to be a great choice no matter what time of the year, no matter who you're talking about. If you get one of these, you're probably going to be okay. Now I want to say right off the bat that this is not for everybody. You know if the individual that you're buying something for is a tool carrier. If there's someone who carries tools in their pocket, whether it's a multi-tool or flashlight or any of that kind of thing, they will appreciate this Knipex Cobra. This is the 100mm variety, and yes, that is how you say it properly. And I just am so impressed with how versatile this tool is and just how capable it is. Made of actual forged steel. Now this one is custom laser etched by EDC Outlaw, but you can get a plain version of this for under $30, and they are absolutely fantastic. Now of note, there are two places to get this on Amazon. One will be a lot longer coming to your door, so you might have to pay a little bit more to have it be a 2-day shipping if you're doing this last minute. But otherwise, go ahead and get the less expensive variation. I will put links to both down below. This is actually something I carry every single day, and as I will show you a little bit later, it fits directly into my wallet. There are pretty much no other pliers on the market that are as capable at this size. Highly recommended, just it's a no-brainer. So definitely check out the Knipex 100mm Cobra. Now when it comes to very small multi-tools, there aren't that many options anymore, especially now that the Leatherman Squirt has been discontinued, as well as the Style PS. This is actually a really good little tool. This is the Nextool Mini Sailor. You can also get a variation from Olight as well that is identical in tool set. And so this has a small set of pliers. It has a small scissor as well, which cuts incredibly well. It also has a Phillips driver along with a lanyard ring tucked in behind it, a flathead, as well as a SIM card extraction tool, And then on the other side, we have a small blade and a can opener, bottle opener combo. This little thing coming in just under 3 ounces might be one of my favorites at sub $30 as well. So highly recommend this little keychain tool. It's a great stocking stuffer, small item, and it might cover all of the bases for most people. Not everyone needs a one-handable blade or doesn't want it. So having something that has a blade on it that they can use in an emergency or for, you know, opening packages or whatever, this is kind of like a one and done kind of system versus the dedicated items that we've talked about or will be talking about. This is kind of a great thing to get somebody started. As long as they understand how to use a slip joint blade, well, it should be great. And I highly recommend checking this one out. And this particular version, not the one with the scissors in the middle. So make sure you don't get the wrong one. You want the one that has the pliers right here and the scissors in the handle. That's pretty much it. Worth checking out the Nextool Mini Sailor for sure. Choosing only 2 flashlights in this top 20 list, it was really difficult trying to figure out which ones would I recommend. And I came down to I wanted to have at least one flashlight that was keychain enabled, but also had the versatility of being used in multiple different ways. And there really isn't much out there that's as compact and as powerful as the Aurora series from RovyVon. So this particular one is the A3 Pro. It comes in under $30, and you can actually get the non-pro version for even cheaper. I like the A3 specifically because it has an aluminum body and it distributes its heat very, very well compared to the plastic body A1. This light, which is almost basically the size of a AA battery, has 650 lumens of output. Yeah, this thing is insane. So more than almost anyone needs, and you really will surprise people with how much light this actually has. It also has a magnetic clip that is removable, so if you want to use it on a keychain, you can. It works pretty well as a dangler as well if you want to attach it to your keys and leave the clip on. And I like that you can't accidentally turn on the flashlight unless you double press, which will then bring in the memorized mode, and then we can cycle up from there. There's just a lot going for this light. It's a fantastic little piece, and this is their 4th generation. They have basically, well, damn near perfected it. So I highly recommend the Aurora series. Any of them are going to be good, but make sure they are generation 4, and the A3 is probably the easiest to understand and probably also the best value of the bunch. It's amazing to me that I can dislike so many products from this company, and yet this one is so good I have to continue to talk about it. This is the SOG PowerPint. With all the other companies that make multi-tools basically getting out of this compact size, this one stands head and shoulders above the rest. They've done so many things with this correct, and I have an entire video dedicated to it. If you want to see that, I will link it as well. But what makes this so good is it has a compound leverage system with a gear ratio that makes it incredibly useful. The pliers are substantially bigger than some of the other items that we've talked about. So if you take a look compared to the Nextool, you can see the difference. It's pretty substantial. In addition to that, it has the ability to hold a full-sized hex bit in the back, which makes it into a screwdriver. Each of these sides has at least 5 different tools. In fact, I think 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 tools here, 5 tools here. It's an incredibly dense tool set. It even has a pocket clip. At 4.3 ounces, there's pretty much nothing else out there like it. And for that reason, I have to include it. This black version is a little bit over that $50 price point, but the stainless version comes in around $46. So it's a very good multi-tool for someone who doesn't want to carry something ultra heavy and maybe has a 5th pocket available for a small multi-tool. This is it. This is the one to go for, and I cannot recommend it enough. Next item is the last one we'll talk about from Amazon, and this is actually my key setup every single day. This is the RovyVon U4 Pro Titanium. So this has a couple of really useful features that are just fantastic. Number one, it has a small scalpel blade. This is a number 11 scalpel and it comes with 5 or 6 built in like that come with it as well. And these are pretty easy to find, surprisingly. This has a slip joint capable blade that has a half stop and is great because it makes it legal in a lot of other places where locking blades are not actually allowed. It also does have a lock built in for its bit driver, which is very, very nice little added feature. Now this one comes with a T6, T8, but normally when you buy it on Amazon, I think it comes with a Phillips and flathead combo. Here's the cool part. Remember we talked about the Hoto Driver? All but one of these bits functions perfectly. I think it's this one that doesn't work, and only in this orientation. All of these bits work with this bit driver. So you can actually gift both of these together, and well, there you go. You have an incredible setup ready to rock and roll. And yeah, the U4 titanium, it's just absolutely fantastic. And I think they're under $40 right now. I'm going to correct myself right here, but this is a great consideration and definitely worth buying. I can't recommend it enough. Now the next item I want to talk about is the ARC Company Boulder wallet. Now I have 2 variations, the small and the XL, and I have used this exact one in Italy because it was able to hold euros without any issue. It also holds a notebook, but I have found myself recently using this exact wallet. This is the standard Boulder, and the way I set it up is with the Knipex Cobra right here, just like that, as well as the Zebra F301 Compact. So these are things that we've talked about in this video, and is perfect. It works exactly as I can imagine. This is max level EDC right here. This just gives me so much joy. And if you know someone like me who loves to carry items but wants a more organized way to do so, check out our company. He has a bunch of different stuff. I mean, not only these, but many, many, many other organizers and pocket things, all made in the United States. Highly worth the look. And if you know the person, this is definitely one of those gifts that I think they are going to love. Now, we need to talk about the Wazoo cap. What you're seeing here are actually my everyday carry. These are the things I carry every single day, without exception. And you can see from this hat that I've actually worn it quite a bit. This reflective tape in here, which is for signaling in case of emergency, yeah, it's still really, really good and highly useful in an emergency scenario where you're trying to get someone's attention. But you'll notice that this cap has a lot more going on than just being a ball cap. It has Velcro pockets here, here, and here, as well as one in the brim as well, and slots on the side. This is like a storage container built into your hat. And you might think, oh, this is gonna make it look terrible. It really doesn't. No one ever notices. They might see this in my hat and ask that question, but other than the Alox Classic that I have stored here, it's basically just looks like a ball cap. What I keep in here usually are Band-Aids, a N95 mask, earplugs, and hair ties, in addition to this Swiss Army knife. That's pretty much it. And the only thing I ever have to take out if I'm going on trips is this little Swiss Army knife. And with the Jetsetter on my keychain, it's pretty much redundant. I probably could take it out at this point. It's just habit. And so I cannot recommend this company and this product enough. If you're going to take anything from this, I want you to see what I actually use day to day. And you'll notice that many of these are inexpensive. The small Jetsetter and the little key organizer, these are things that I rely on. These are the things I love. And I think that the people that you might be gifting these to will like them as well. And here is everything we covered in this video. Now, if this is still not enough, there is going to be even more resources for you down in the description and the pinned comment. I will have a list of all the items that I recommend, not just the ones you've seen here. And I'm also going to put in it a playlist of all of my top 10 videos that I've made recently, whether it's about pens, pliers, scissors, multi-tools, you name it. I have an entire playlist of those as well. And hopefully between all of those resources, you can find the item you're looking for. As always, thank you so much for your time, and we'll talk again soon.